morning, world. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And welcome back to the Black Man's Guide to World Travel. Now, we all know that there are so many ways to travel the world. And so far, you've seen me travel the world by flight so many times. But on this episode, we're going to do something different. We are going to go on a cruise to 3 separate countries. We are going to Turks and Caicos. We are going to Amber Cove, Dominican Republic, and we're going to the Bahamas. And the cruise line we're riding on is the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise. Okay, so to start, we actually did have to take a plane because, as most of you guys and ladies already know, I am from Newark, New Jersey. And this cruise was leaving out of Port Canaveral, Orlando, Florida. What's going on, y'all? We just made it to Orlando Airport, Orlando International Airport. Just a step closer to the cruise, which is 45 minutes away from the airport. So what I did was I arrived the day before and got a little $60 motel, which is about 15 minutes away from the airport, so that I could sleep overnight and be well rested and ready to go in the morning. The reason why I did this is because I did not want to risk the flight changing or missing the flight first thing in the morning and then completely missing the boat. Now, the boat leaves at 3 p.m. from Port Canaveral, but if there is a chance that you do miss the boat, you can also catch a plane to one of the islands it goes to and pick up the boat from there. Okay, as I do in all of my Black Man guides, I'm going to point to the time on the screen right here, where I'm going to start talking about the pros and the non-pros of this Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise. Now, the thing about this is that when I talk about the pro section, I'll mostly be talking about the Dominican Republic. Now, when I talk about the Dominican Republic, we'll mostly be talking about Puerto Plata and Sosua. So, if you're a man or a woman or anything in between who gets easily offended and doesn't have an open mind, you might want to stop the video at the time that I'm pointing to on the screen right now. Okay, so even before boarding day, there are some things that you need to know and need to do the weeks before takeoff. Now, the first thing I would say is you have to understand whether or not you are a drinker or a non-drinker, as well as the type of cabin that you want. And most importantly, you need to get the internet package. These 3 items can make or break your fun on the cruise. Another thing you also need to do is to book your boarding time in advance. Now, when booking your boarding time, I suggest you pick something after 12 o'clock because you won't be able to get access to your room until about 3:30, even though you can get on the boat whenever your boarding time is, and you won't have any of your luggage. But again, let's start to what you need to do before boarding day. Now, when it comes to a drink package, you have to understand this. If you are not an avid, heavy drinker, this drink package may not pay off for you because you're giving a limit of 15 drinks a day, which is actually a lot of drinks. But if you only use 10, 5, or anything pretty much below 12 drinks, you're wasting a lot of money because the drink package costs about $60 plus tax per day. And it's a 7-day cruise. So you have to think about this. Am I willing to spend $400 to drink on a cruise if I'm not really a drinker? No. Now, if you are a drinker, it's definite you got to get the drink package. But if you're not, here's another idea which I did, which you can do. On different sites like eBay and Amazon and Walmart, you can find different types of bottles that you can put alcohol in. Now, why would you have to go through all this? Because from what I understand, they don't allow you to bring alcohol bottles in your luggage bag. Now, they don't technically say you can't put alcohol in your bag, but if you have an alcohol bottle, it won't make it on the ship. So I went and purchased about 4 of these nice sized bottles for $25 on Amazon. I don't have an affiliate link, you just gotta go search for it, but it definitely works, and they're all different names, so you'll be okay if you get that. Secondly, the internet package. If you've never been at sea before, then you don't, or you may not understand that the internet doesn't work at all. Your phone service doesn't work at all when you're in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. So it is very crucial, even if you're not worried about people calling you from back home. It is very crucial that you get the internet package, because a lot of the stuff on the ship, whether it's finding out what activities you want to do, whether it's booking reservations for dinner, or whether it's something simple as communicating through WhatsApp or Instagram, or posting a selfie somewhere, that you won't be able to do for the entire cruise. Okay, so there are about 2 more things that you need to do before boarding day. One is you need to download the Carnival Cruise Hub app. What it is an app on your phone that allows you to do everything you need to do on the cruise. And without this app, I feel as though you really can't cruise because everything you needed to do, whether you wanted to go get food, whether you wanted to check in somewhere, whether you wanted to pay for something, it was all on the app. The second thing you need to do is print out not one, but 2 pages of your boarding passes, or 2 copies of your boarding pass. The reason why is because on boarding day, there are like 3 or 4 checkpoints where if you don't have this out, it's going to add another 15 to 20 to 30 to who knows how long before they allow you to get on. And if you don't have it, it's not a guarantee that they have a place that they can print it out for you. So make sure you print it out. I know they may say you could use it on your phone, but I wouldn't take that risk. Print 2 copies out. Have one on your person and one on your carry-on bag. It may also be good to book activities and excursions before boarding day, but you actually can book those on a cruise as well. Not all of them sell out. Okay, now boarding day arrives. You finally are ready to board the ship. You've done everything you think you needed to do because you listened to this guide. But there's one more trip. On boarding day, they don't tell you, but they hold an extra $200 on whatever card you purchased the ship package with. The reason for this $200 hold is because on the ship, you don't use cash. Everything you get that you pay for or you check in with, you use through your room key. And your room key is basically your credit or debit card for the trip. Now, one thing I'll say is this. If you do not have $200 on your card, they're going to tell you to go to guest services as soon as you get on the trip. Now, for some reason, I felt as though maybe I overlooked it and everyone else seen it and it'd be no issue. But I had $200 on my card, so I didn't have a problem. But as soon as I got on the ship, guest services was packed. It was about 6,500 people on the whole ship, to let you guys know. There had to be at least 200 to 300 people in line waiting for guest services, either because the $200 that wasn't available, or they didn't know about it and they was trying to find out why they was being charged. So again, make sure that you understand that $200 extra on your card is going to be needed for boarding day. Now, aside from the $200 mystery hold, I must say, I give this experience on Carnival Cruise an 8.9. The reason why I said this is because they put so much detail in all of the things that were available on the ship, and how you can have access to them, and how they can explain them. What I mean by this is, on your Carnival Hub app, it gives a list of activities that happen during every single day. And I want to say there was at least one major activity every hour and a half, maybe every 2 hours, but every hour there was something else to do all over the ship. And this is my first time being on a cruise ship, and you know Mardi Gras for Carnival is the biggest cruise ship they have. So I mean, there were about, I think, 19 levels of activities and staterooms where you're going to stay, and it definitely was something that I never imagined being so easy to understand because of how they organize it. Now, on every single floor next to the elevators, we'll get to the rowdiness of the elevators, but on every single floor next to the elevators, it would give you a detailed map of all the activities or all of the shops and restaurants and stores and staterooms on each floor, and you could follow the point, kind of like when you're at the mall and it says you are here and you can go this way or go that way, this is here, this is there. So it was very difficult to get lost. Because I don't want to make this video so long, because I was there for so long and did so many activities, I'm going to point out some of the major activities that I think everyone should do, and then maybe some of the ones that I did. Now, on the first day at 3:30, they have something called the sell-off. Now, what the sell-off is when everyone gets on top of the ship and there's the whole crew there. There's a big performance. Shout out to the cruise director, Jackie Tang. I hope I said his name right. He was very, very good at grabbing the crowd's attention and entertaining the masses. And on this sell-off, I mean, it was packed. It was so dope how they got everybody intertwined. They had little dance contests. They had the music bumping. They had the hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. It just was amazing. Like, I want to give y'all a little sample of it, so check this out.
For the next elimination of the Queen. For the next elimination of the little Michael Curtis School. So I'm going to ask you one more time, and you better give me the energy. Body, my body, if you're ready for a great vacation, let me hear you make some noise.
Okay, so now that we're all on vacation, let me give you an outline of how they organize the days with going to different countries and selling on the sea. During this cruise, you spend 3 days when you dock at a certain port, and you spend 3 days on sea. Now, the way I decided to organize my cruise is that the 3 days that I was on sea, each of those days I would explore more of the ships. Now, of course, at nighttime, you're always on the ship. You never stay overnight in a different country. So at nighttime, I also made plans for the things to do on the ship. Now, let's talk about one of the most important things you need to know while on this ship. There are restaurants you can go to where you don't need to check in, you don't need to book a reservation, and you can just walk up and grab food on the ship, such as the Burger and Fries joint. Shaquille O'Neal has a big chicken shack or chicken restaurant there. You can also go to the buffet, which is on the Leto deck, which is the 16th deck, I believe. And there's a couple other small shops on the 8th floor, like pizza and stuff. You can get almost at any time of the night. The pizza store is the one that stays open the latest, but during the day, you can pretty much go to any of these shops to get food. Now, on the ship, they also have restaurants where you can pay for, and restaurants where the first time you go, it is completely free. Yes, you heard me right. Completely free. When I say completely free, I mean that you can order as much food as you want. Now, the drinks you still have to pay for unless you have the drink package, but you can order as much food as you want. I mean, I ordered 2 entrees, a main course, a side course to go with the main course, an appetizer, second appetizer, third appetizer. It was amazing. Now, the different restaurants like this, I believe, Chichi Bang. There's a Italian restaurant, which I really enjoyed. And there's a couple other restaurants. Another restaurant that you can go to, as long as you check in, is the Palm Restaurant. Now, the Palm Restaurant is probably, for me, the best place for breakfast, because the breakfast was amazingly delicious. They had, like, of course, they had certain things that you can pay for specialized. Like, my friend got, like, grits and shrimp, and that's like I guess like a $2 thing, but that wasn't anything. Again, the first time you go to most of the restaurants, it's free. The second time is $8, and again, it's still unlimited. So I would suggest trying out some of the restaurants, maybe more than once, that you really like, because it's only $8. One of my favorite activities that they had on this ship was dodgeball. I know, you're looking like, but you're a grown-up. Who plays dodgeball anymore? Listen, it was one of the most spectacular events or activities that they had that was solely for adults. Yes, you heard me right. It was dodgeball for solely adults. Here's where it got a little bit crazy. I forgot that for everyone, adult starts at 18. It's not 30 plus, because you guys know I'm 39. It's not 30 plus. So imagine playing dodgeball and you got these little 18-year-olds doing backflips and throwing the ball at 100 miles an hour. But again, this was probably my favorite activity to do on the ship, because it kind of brought me back to my youth and when I enjoyed just having fun. Now, of course, I didn't check and really think this through, so I had on some like jeans and a t-shirt and some nice sneakers. But I definitely had to jump on the game and play it, and it was definitely something spectacular. Everyone there was fun. It was having fun. They had rules and everything. It's just one of the things I had to show on this guide, because it really stuck out for me. Now, there were other activities you could do, like bag tossing, and I mean, all day. You know, the jacuzzis was there. They had the pools. They had many different pools. They had a section that was specifically for adults, because again, this is more of a family/couples cruise, and there definitely was a lot of families with kids on there. So I really appreciated the fact that this cruise separated where the kids go and where the adults go in Serenity and things like that, because it gave you some peace and tranquility from all the madness that happened. Another thing is that after about, I believe 1 o'clock, if you weren't 18, you could not be out walking around the ship, which was one of the most spectacular things. So every night we was going to the club and partying. During the day, they also had comedy shows for the kids, but at nighttime, they had comedy shows for the adults. So we hit up a couple comedy shows. They had a game night once. It was all right. They could have did some improvements, but it was cool. Also, they had a karaoke. Karaoke was slamming. Now, karaoke, even though it was after 1 o'clock, there were some kids there, but they were with their parents, so they were allowed to be there. But it was still a dope environment, seeing the different people have fun and, you know, just listening to songs like Now, there are two more major activities on the ship that I want to talk about before we get into going off the ship and activities and excursions we did off the ship. The first major activity is called the Night of Enchantment. Now, on this night, you get to meet the entire crew. They put on a big show, and most importantly, you get to meet the captain and the co-captains and everyone that makes it possible for us to have this amazing time on the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alessandro Ianni, captain of the Mardi Gras, of course. And I'm here tonight with all the senior officers here to welcome you all on board.
Now, the second activity, which was the most production value produced, I don't know how to say it. It was probably the most grandest activity or show on the whole ship, was called Celestial Strings. Now, I hope I said this right, but it was like a Broadway play. But the Broadway play had instruments, it had singing, it had high flying acts, it had gymnasts, it had everything that you would think you would see on Broadway, but it was on the ship. I mean, this production was huge, man. I can't speak enough about how good this was, so I'm just gonna play some parts from. Now, the last part I'm going to talk about on this ship, aside from debarkation, which is when you leave the ship, is the nightlife. Now, if you've seen my live videos that I produced while on the ship, when I was actually on the ship, you might get a lot more laughter in this part, but I'm just going to summarize it for the people who are just wanting to hear the facts. Now, they have two major clubs that you can go to. The first is Havana Bar. Havana Bar is open until 2 o'clock. There's only one other place that's open to 2 o'clock, and this is Limelight Lounge. Limelight Lounge was the biggest club on the boat, and it also stayed open late. The thing is that sometimes it stayed open till 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was the lounge that they played a lot of hip-hop, R&B, and reggae. Now, there were 2 nights where at 11 o'clock they had a special 60s music where you get some Aretha Franklin, some James Brown, and things like that. But at 12 o'clock, the DJ switched, and it was always the newest music and the updated music. Okay, now I'm going to get into the 2 excursions I booked in the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, as well as the excursion we went on in the Dominican Republic. First, we're going to start off with the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. Now, in the Bahamas, you go to the port. You don't really go to Nassau, Bahamas. You go to an island that is where the cruises land. And we decided to do a twister boat tour, which is basically like a speedboat that does like donuts and stuff in the water, and it was pretty cool. So again, I would definitely suggest doing this tour. It was very amazing, and we got to actually see all the different people's houses that lived there, like Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey's house and other people's houses that had brought property in the Bahamas. The second place we went was Turks and Caicos. Now on Turks and Caicos, they have a big swimming outside recreational area called Margaritaville. Now unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really experience Margaritaville the way that my friends did, but I'll definitely give you guys some insight and say that I've heard it was live. But the excursion we did, and that's free by the way, the excursion we did was an ATV ride. Now the ATV ride to me was my favorite excursion on the trip because it was like the view, the fun, to just getting to actually turn up on the ATVs. I really enjoy ATVs. And the guides was being so cool. They wasn't being OD with the protectiveness about it. So I was able to record and get some amazing shots and even some drone footage while on the ATV. Now, the next and final excursion, something like that we went to was in the Dominican Republic. Now, as I told you guys in the beginning, the boat lands in Amber Cove. But when we got to Amber Cove, I had a feeling that I wanted to do something different. I didn't just want to go hang around the Amber Cove, Margaritaville area. I wanted to go to Sosua Beach. Now, the way we got to Sosua Beach is that once you come off the ship, there's a line of taxis outside of the little store area where you can go to, and they have a list of places that you can go. A couple of them, I believe, was Cabarete, Sosua, Puerto Plata, and a couple other beach towns that is next to where Amber Cove is. Now, here's the thing. You have to remember, on the cruise, you have to be back by a certain time, because if you're not back by a certain time on any of these excursions, you can get left. This is a part that I should probably mention in the beginning, but it is very crucial that you understand that when you set your time of being outside of the cruise area, make sure you leave an hour to an hour and a half window for you to get back in time. So what we did is we woke up first thing in the morning about 9:30 and we went out to go catch the cab. We took a taxi. The taxi was about $140 for up to 5 people, which is good. Now, the ride is about a 45-minute ride to Sosua Beach. It's about a 20-minute ride to Puerto Plata. But we decided we was going to take the long ride first and go to Sosua Beach. So as we got to Sosua Beach, I actually was recording. I was showing some of the area because a lot of people see Sosua Beach at nighttime and you don't really get a feel of how it is during the day. So while down in Sosua, we decided to go to a very popular restaurant called Flip Flop Sport Bar and Taco Spot.
Welcome to Flip Flop! Morning.
Now, the thing about this sports bar is that the person who owns it, Mr. Flip Flop, is actually a United States citizen, a black brother from the United States. So we definitely had to go there and show support. And the food was amazing because it was seasoned the way that we like it. So I ended up getting some wings, some fried rice, came with some guacamole and some other stuff. And he even chipped in and gave us a free presidential beer and shots of Mama Juana for the support. And it was definitely a thing I would suggest all of you guys go down to do. Now, after we left Flip Flops, we hung out for a minute, toured around the area. I met this amazing tour guide, which I'll tell you more about later in the woman part. But after that, we decided we're going to go to Puerto Plata. So we went to Puerto Plata, and Puerto Plata also has a beach like Sosua, but it's a lot more people on Puerto Plata Beach. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's get to the women of the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise. What's going on, y'all? Okay, now let's get into the women of the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise. As you know, whenever it comes to talking about women when I go places, there are always two sides to the story. There's the pro side and there's the non-pro side. And as usual, we'll talk about the non-pro side first. Okay, so when you are on a ship, there is a lot of stuff you have to consider. You have to consider the fact that you will have to hunt for your prey, for your meat. Pause. You'll basically have to go and find a woman in a difficult environment. When I mean it's difficult is because, again, with the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise, the majority of people on the cruise are in families. So I'd say about 80% of the cruise is family or couples. For this reason, I suggest when you do find someone, and you will have to adjust your look quality, because in my idea of looks, I'd say the average single woman on a cruise is between 6 and 8. But there will be a lot of 3s and 4s that will actually hit on you and could actually be someone who's cool to get to know and have fun with. Now, I will also say this. When it comes to choosing women on the boat, I feel as though, from my experience, it's best to pick a boat bae. What I consider a boat bae is someone who you basically have the girlfriend experience on when you're on the ship. Now, when you're actually on the ship and you're thinking about choosing a boat bae, here's where going for looks wouldn't be the best idea in my mind. Because the boat is going to be about a 7-day trip. And you might meet your boat bae around the 2nd or 3rd day. The first woman you pick, other women are going to see you with her. So there are going to be some bold ones that want to have fun now that they've seen you with a woman, which is sometimes a benefit. But then a lot of that is going to depend on how good looking your boat bae is. So I would definitely suggest going with a boat bae because it can help you get other women. But if you do pick a quality boat bae, you may feel more comfortable just staying with that boat bae that looks good, that has things in common you can talk about, and who's really just fun to be around. Because a woman can look really, really good, but if she's horrible to be around, trust me, on a boat, you're going to dislike it. Because as big as the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise is, you ain't going to be able to get away from them. You're going to run into them every day. So again, really consider when you're on a Mardi Gras cruise ship to pick a boat bae, because I feel as though this is one way that worked best for me. Now, I did have a friend who was single who ended up having 6 different women on the boat. Now, the one thing I realized about this is that his organization of the 6 women was a lot. It was like having a whole nother job, because you got to make sure that one doesn't run into the other one. Even if they all know each other, it does become an issue. Although I did meet a woman who was like a side boat bae, where the guy had a boat bae already and she was cool being a side piece. So that does occur also. But again, as much as I tell you that you have to hunt on a boat, you got to realize that on the boat, women get needs. And you might just catch something in the middle of the night where she just wants to go to your room right away. Like I was on the boat once, and I was actually in the lounge. And while I was in the lounge, a woman just came up to me. We was dancing for a little bit, and she just said, "Hey, here's my room number. When you want to, come upstairs." I was like, "Wait, what?" I didn't actually. I didn't get her name. I didn't get her phone number. She just gave me her room number and said, "Come upstairs." So again, this, as crazy as it sounds, does happen a lot more than you would think. And again, you're going to have to be very, very lenient with the quality that you'll see. Maybe some will be a little bit more thicker, out of shape. They'll just have or someone have a pretty face. They'll have a good top or bottom. But you just gotta be lenient. But just try to see the personality out of it. You know what I mean? Because they can really be fun. It could be a great experience. Now, when it comes to the pros, on the 4th day, I believe the 4th or 5th day, it might be the 5th day, you land in Dominican Republic. Now, in Dominican Republic, you can go to Puerto Plata or you can go to Sosua. Hey, yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way, all platforms. I know y'all looking like, hey, yo, what is Flyboy doing? I know there's another part to these videos. Yes, but unfortunately, I had to put them behind the paywall because my #1 video, The Black Man's Got to Cartagena, was taken off. And you guys know when I like to tell a story, I like to tell a story the way it is. I don't like to hold stuff back that others may find offensive. And unfortunately, we cannot do that anymore on most platforms. So until I create my website, I had to put all of the rest of the guides that you're going to see in the full version behind the membership. Eventually, I will create a website, and it will be free just for the guides. I have about 12 different guides right now, or 15 different guides right now. I don't know, a lot. So you can subscribe to the membership. I made it only $5 because I think that stops it from being a major issue with YouTube. It's, I guess, something that we kind of worked out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope this helped you. That's the reason why I made these videos PG and put them back on for the whole public to see, because I think with information comes safety. And if you get the information, it can help you stay safe when you travel the world. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.